So if you're like me and you're obsessed with politics, then you were probably up all night watching the election results come in. I actually went to a count last night. I like seeing the action live, and usually the counts are great because they have a bar and a TV. When I've stood for election in the past, I think it was 2014, when I stood against Nigel Farage, and I got trounced, by the way, of course. But we had this great bar and there was big TVs and you can watch the election results come in live. Brilliant. So I went to a count last night thinking it'll be the same and I can watch the action live, and it was rubbish. They barely even had a cafe. It was rubbish. But anyway, what was interesting is, well, I'll put it this way, I'm certainly glad that I revised my predictions on Rebel last week. Or was it this week? Because actually the results were very, very different. Originally I thought that honestly this was just going to be a Labour sweep, because the thing is this is a midterm election and people want to express their unhappiness with the current government, and let's face it, Theresa May is not exactly popular, but it turns out that Corbyn is even less popular than May right now, and the Tories have not done as bad as they thought. So let's just take a look at the numbers as of right now, as of recording. There's still some counts going on at the moment, so this might have changed by the time this goes out. But the Conservatives are on 1,203 seats. They've lost 15 councillors, and they've lost one council control, so meaning that they control the council. They've got the most councillors in that ward or district. The Labour Party has increased its share of councillors. They've gained 61 councillors, but they've lost control of one council. And what's particularly interesting about this election is Labour really went in on this. They thought that they were going to benefit from the fact that the Tories are unpopular right now. And they thought they were going to be able to get Wandsworth, which is a borough that the Conservatives have controlled for years and years and years, and the Tories really had to defend it with all their might. And I remember last night there were some reports that it looked like Labour were going to take it, but they didn't. The Tories defended it, which is, well, it's fascinating because Labour really talked themselves up, and it just hasn't panned out. What has happened, though, this is really interesting. I predicted about 30 to 40 Lib Dem gains. They've gained 56. Councillors, that is, not councils. They've gained 56 councillors, and now they control 3 extra councils. The count I was at last night was really interesting to watch because the Lib Dem candidate got double the amount that the person who came second got. It was a huge level of support for the Lib Dems, which it just amazes me. Who are these people who vote Lib Dem? Again, the same ward that I went to the count to. They vote Conservative in the general election, in the national election, but they always vote Lib Dem, and the Lib Dems have been in control in this ward for 20 odd years. Why are people voting Liberal Democrat? It's possible that it's just, well, there's 2 reasons. One, the Liberal Democrats are actually very, very good at a local level. They go out, they hand out leaflets all the time, they do photographs of them pointing at potholes, like to the camera, pointing, looking sad and angry. They go out and wash road signs and all that typical stuff. But it's obviously effective because they've won 56 councillors. The Greens have won 4. No overall change in council control. I don't think they control any councils by the looks of it. They've got a total of 33 seats. But the real story here is UKIP. Ooh. It must sting to be UKIP right now. It's amazing to see how a party can rise so quickly and fall so quickly. So at the time of recording, they've lost 119 seats. 119. They've somehow managed, I thought they'd lose every single seat, but they've somehow managed to gain or defend a total of 3 seats so far. So this is a total wipeout for UKIP. But what's interesting is, if you take that 119 votes, and look across the board at where they've gone, well, Labour's gained 61, the Lib Dems have gained 56, and the Greens have gained 4, and the Conservatives have technically lost people. So I've seen some people on the TV say that what this means is that the UKIP voters are going back to the parties that they originally came from, which I think is true. A lot of them, 61 councillors, a lot of people have gone back to Labour, the key working class vote that went to UKIP because of Brexit. And they've gone back to Labour and seemingly must trust Labour with Brexit. But why would they go back to Lib Dem? And I was wondering that, but then it occurred to me, of course, that's not necessarily what's happened here. It's possible that the UKIP vote has gone back to the Tories, but the Tories have still lost seats because the Lib Dems have possibly drawn out new voters or people that haven't voted in a while. The Lib Dems have gained 56 councillors, gained 3 councils. That's astonishing. The Lib Dems control 7 councils now. So what's happened is, I think the Conservatives have just been a bit trounced in some regions by the Lib Dems. That's certainly what I saw last night. The Lib Dems won with about 1,400 votes and the Tories came second with 700. So all these voters are leaving UKIP, going back to the Conservatives, and it doesn't matter because the Lib Dems are beating them anyway. That is fascinating, I think. But the amazing thing with UKIP, I saw that somebody in UKIP called the party the Black Death. So let's have a look at this. An article in the BBC. UKIP is dormant like the Black Death, its General Secretary said after it suffered heavy losses in the English local elections. Why you would describe your own party as the Black Death, I don't know. That's as Paul Oakley, the General Secretary, Paul Oakley, said it was not over at all for the Eurosceptic party, which has suffered since the Brexit vote in 2016. Think of the Black Death in the Middle Ages, he said. It comes along and it causes disruption and then it goes dormant, and that's exactly what we're going to do. I don't think they can turn this around. Oh, by the way, Bill Etheridge. I don't know how much I should really be attacking politicians here, but let's be honest. Bill Etheridge has said nasty things about people like us during the Anne-Marie Waters campaign, and even beyond. He's called people like us who talk about Islam, neo-Nazis, racists, fascists, whatever. He's joined in with all that gang. He lost his seat last night. He lost his council seat. Oh, karma. Oh, karma. So I think what this tells us is the protest vote still exists in Britain, but they've left UKIP, and now the protest vote is Lib Dem, regardless of their policy on the European Union, actually, because this is a local election. It's not based on national policy, and a lot of people might vote Lib Dem just because they see them in the summertime going out cleaning road signs and things like that. So protest vote is there, but now it's Lib Dem. But here's where it gets interesting. There's a couple of parties, smaller parties that I mentioned in my last video that I thought that maybe you guys might be voting for. 2 of them were the Democrats and Veterans and For Britain. Now, For Britain, from what I can see, had a reasonably good night. There was a tweet from a journalist from The Guardian who said that For Britain did terribly, but they didn't do terribly, actually. So let's look at Sandwell. Sandwell near Birmingham, there was 3 For Britain candidates. So in one of them, we've got here, Charlemagne with Grove Vale Ward. Sam Harding from For Britain came 3rd behind the Labour Party and the Conservatives, and she beat UKIP, a party that appeared to the electorate 3 weeks ago when they started their campaign, has beaten UKIP in Sandwell. Another one in Sandwell is Steve Latham, who came 3rd with 256, well, 3rd and last. But again, it's hard to beat the Labour Party, who are on 1,581. And then another one in Sandwell is Daryl Mayer. And he beat an independent, and he beat the Green Party. That's quite good. That's quite good. And let's see what else we've got for Britain here. I've got some notes. In Leeds. Leeds was a huge ward. A huge district. All the wards were up this year, and the amount of houses in each ward was a lot. I think it's about 10,000 houses per ward. But still, regardless, Anne Murgatroyd from For Britain got 489 votes, and that's without the postal votes. As far as I'm aware, they didn't get the leaflets out before the postal votes went out, so that's surprising. What else have we got? Hartlepool, Hart District Council, Sunderland. Oh, so in Sunderland, the For Britain movement beat the Liberal Democrats. Anne-Marie's For Britain beat the Liberal Democrats in Sunderland in the Washington North Ward. I mean, so for a brand new party, that's surprising. In the wards across the country, For Britain have beaten the Liberal Democrats in one, they've beaten the Greens in another, they've beaten Independents. I believe they might have beaten a Tory, but I'll have to check that. But they've also beaten UKIP. So could this be the start of the UKIP replacement, the new protest party? Who knows? But then there's the Democrats and Veterans. So I've been looking these up on Twitter. Sometimes the best way to get the results for local elections is actually on Twitter, because the BBC will report who wins the council, but they won't announce the full details of all the candidates. So there's one here for the Democrats and Veterans. In Ecclesall, the Democrats and Veterans got 87 votes, which is, well, it's quite far away from the other parties. Conservative got 871, the Green Party got 1,374, the Liberal Democrats 3,614, and the Labour Party 1,874. So that's not a great turnout. Democrats and Veterans also got 10 votes in one constituency, in Duryard and St James. And that's all I'm able to find. Oh no, there's another one, West Thurrock and South Stifford Ward. Democrats and Veterans got 94. Again, not fantastic, not fantastic. They could well have done better elsewhere, but I can't find the data for that yet. Maybe I'll do an updated version of this video perhaps next week, once we have all the data. But hats off to the Democrats and Veterans for standing and standing up for something. Hats off to them. So, long show today. I hope you found it interesting, if not too rambly. I really like looking at this stuff. And I think, here's what I think's happening here. All these results, with the Conservatives not doing as badly as thought, and Labour not doing as well as we thought, I think this means that a general election is a long time away. I can't see any more snap elections being called any time soon, because we're kind of at this political stalemate right now where the Tories and Labour Party are kind of, you know, the threshold for real full government is here without a coalition, and the Tories and Labour are just kind of balancing out just under it and hovering. Nothing's going to change, I don't think, until we actually get Brexit, until we get new inspiring leaders. The Labour Party leader, Jeremy Corbyn, and Theresa May from the Tories, I don't think either of them are inspiring the voters, and Jeremy Corbyn is definitely polarising their own members and voters as well. So what this means is, there's room for a new party, there's room for a new political party on the right, or at least a populist political party, right or left, and the Lib Dems are making a comeback. Maybe all they need now is someone a bit more interesting than Vince Cable as leader, and they, boom, could be back in the political spotlight. But one thing for sure is that once again, this is like we've reverted back about 8 years. Britain is a three-party state again. Well, it's a two-party state with the Lib Dems hovering behind them. We've got the Labour Party, the Conservative Party, and then we've got the Liberal Democrats just behind them, biting and snapping at their ankles. Seems weird. It's not been like that in a long time. But we are a three-party state once more. Anyway, it's weekend, so have a nice weekend. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care. If you like that and want to see more, remember to like and subscribe and download the new Rebel app from the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store.